The fall of the Babylonian Empire comes with the rise of the Assyrian Empire. What you might start to recognize, or might have already started to recognize, is that in this area, we see a constant struggle for control. We see the rise and fall of empires, one on top of the other, on top of the other. This behavior is something characteristic of the ancient Near East that is going to be very different than the same period of time in Egypt. We're going to go look at Egypt next week, but I mention it now so that you can start to make a compare and contrast between these two. And we'll talk about why there was such a wide difference of power control between Mesopotamia and ancient Egypt. But back to this. Ancient Babylon defeated by the Assyrians. What? The Assyrians, I put here, fearsome empire originated in the city-state of Assur. Okay, Ashur is the capital of the Assyrian, and that is where they get their name, just like the Babylonian. Okay. And they are known as a fearsome, violent, scary ruler over this land, and they wanted you to be afraid. They also brought with them advancements in chariot warfare. Their chariots were lighter and more adaptable to terrain than the Babylonians' more heavy chariots, and this helped to defeat the Babylonians around 1225 BCE. There was a revolt by the Babylonians also, and this there was, I think, 2 revolts in total during the time of the Assyrian Empire. During one of those revolts, it was violently crushed by the Assyrian king, and in his history, he recorded saying, I made Babylonia's destruction more complete than any flood. I demolished it with torrents of water, made it like a meadow. So he's again proclaiming his power and dominance by destroying the greatness of the city of Babylon. The Assyrian Empire expands beyond the limitations of the Mesopotamian area. Here you can see in this map, you can see the growth of the empire as it takes over Babylon and absorbs the territory that had been ruled by the Babylonians. And then it even expands farther. It expands farther to reach the Mediterranean Sea. So in terms of the size and strength, this is unprecedented until this time. It stretched from Syria and into the Mediterranean. The rulers lived in these fortified complexes called citadels, and that is your next vocabulary term. A citadel is a fortress that commands a city and is used in the control of the inhabitants and in defense during attack or siege. The palaces of the rulers in these key cities were heavily fortified with these thick walls. So what we're looking at here is one such citadel, and you can see it has a complex of buildings within the city itself. And in times of attack, it would have been used as a fortress. Now, there is going to be lots of attacks because the Assyrians are going to make lots of enemies. I also have here a detail of 2 Assyrian guards, 2 soldiers, and you can see again the curly, long, braided beards. They left their hair loose around their shoulders. You can see their weapons. The walls of the citadels were often decorated with our next artwork, the Lamassu. Here's the vocabulary term and definition. The Lamassu. Lamassu are Assyrian guardians in the form of a man-headed winged bull. And these were placed at key gateways around the city and more specifically around the citadel. Here is our specific Lamassu that we'll be looking at. This is the Lamassu from the citadel of the Assyrian leader Sargon II, and it features exactly what the term says, a man-headed winged bull. So it has the head of a man, the body of a bull, and eagle wings. Another variation of this is a lion clawed. And do I have an image of it? I do. I'll show it later. But here, these guardians would stand on either side of a gateway into the city or into the citadel. Now, you might be thinking, these weird, crazy creatures, what are these things? These fantastical creatures are the best guardians. These are the exact kinds of guardians you want to have on your side. Why? Well, they're a combination of things. They have the head of a man, which means the mind or the intellect of a man. They have the strength of a bull, that heavy force of a bull, and the swiftness of an eagle. Now, many of the Lamassu will also have lion's feet, and so they also carry with them the ferocity of a lion. These specific statues from the citadel of Sargon feature Sargon as the man, and he has his 2 pairs of bullhorned crown. He has his distinctive Assyrian beard, which is trimmed on the sides and long in the front, and his curly hair down to his shoulders. Here's another view. Look at how delicately these are carved, and they would have been inset into the walls. Notice, here, this is a different one. This is, I think, from the British Museum. Oh, no, I'm still calling it from the Louvre. They have several of these. Look at here. This has the claws of a lion. So this Lamassu has the intellect of a man. It has the strength of a bull. It has the swiftness of an eagle and the ferocity of a lion. I want you to write this down, okay? All right, let's start again. Lamassu, the perfect guardian. It has the intellect of a man, the strength of a bull, the swiftness of an eagle, and the ferocity of a lion. And isn't that what you want in your guardians, in your protector? Also, check it out. How many legs does this guy have? 6. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 legs. Is this real? No. It has 4 legs. It is meant to be seen from 2 views. When you stand at the front, it is as if it is facing forward, ready, on guard, alert. When you stand from the side, it looks as if it is advancing forward, as if it is ready to walk with you. So it is forever on guard, ready, standing. And as you leave your citadel to go to battle, it marches forward with you. It is the perfect guardian. And it is a guardian that we see in the Assyrian citadels. Here, the Louvre has several of them. Here are 2 in the gateway. Here are some Assyrian reliefs of guards. Here we have another variation of the Lamassu, and his head is turned. These are composite creatures. Composite meaning they are made up of more than one animal, and composite view, because we see them forward and from the side at both times. There are many that are throughout museums around the world. This is a selfie of one of my former students, Amanda. She was at the Metropolitan Museum in New York City, and she got this one. So I want you to go. I want you to explore. I want you to take selfies of yourself with these fantastic artworks. This is an artist restoration to help you understand how it would have been placed on either side of a doorway and how it would have echoed the might and strength of the Assyrian.